All right, so there is a player on LSU's defense that could be as important as any player in the country to his team, certainly defensively. Phil Steele magazine, the great Phil Steele, where you can find the all meathead team on page number 3 as well, ranks this player as the top outside linebacker for the 2026 NFL draft. Surprise, surprise, that player, nope, not Lance Harbor. It is Harold Perkins, number 1 on the list. Now, he is somebody that we've talked more about than maybe any defensive player over the last 10 years. Freshman year, we know what it was. He took over games. He won you the Arkansas game, like single-handedly won the Arkansas game. He had, 4 sacks, forced fumble. Like, he did everything. The offense didn't do anything, and Perk made up for it. We all remember him spying Bryce Young. Bryce Young used to have that little stutter step move. They got every linebacker in the country. Perk laughed at it, tracked him down, tackle for loss. He was a man possessed. Now, we've also talked about his position. He can't live on the edge. It's not what he's built to do. Now he can dabble. He can line up there every once in a while. It's a great change of pace, but talking with Jimbo Fisher, who was the head coach at A&M, he's like, look, Perk lived on the edge that year, and we're like, okay, well, he's a really good player, but he's 220 pounds. We're going to game plan to run at a 220-pound player where we have a combo block with a tight end and a tackle. So that's what teams were doing. It's not, sliding Perkins at all. Perkins is an incredible player. I think he's going to play a long time on Sundays. It's finding the right spot. Play him a little stack linebacker, right? That position, it's not all about how big, fast, and strong you are, right? There's things like reading guards and reading running backs and like that. If you haven't done it your whole life, it can be difficult. I think the star position, which is a nickel Sam in this defense, is perfect for him. I think he has great coverage skills. You look at the Pro Football Focus grades. He's always, his entire career, had great coverage numbers, grades. You can still, and Matt, you know this, like when you rush a nickel off the edge, he can be disruptive. And think about a running back having to come across the formation to block a full-speed Harold Perkins. Like that is a scary thought for a running back. As far as setting the edge, that's going to have to be something that, like, you're going to have your edge defender as well, but like he's going to be able to be a little bit more free because he's not going to be that edge defender, right? He's going to be able to set the edge coming downhill. I love the move for him. LSU has to have him be a dog. He has to be a version of what we saw him be his freshman year. And we have to remember, even if it doesn't show up in sacks, he is a player that can help them in coverage, in the run game, and also getting after the quarterback.
Yeah, Harold Perkins has been this puzzle for defensive coordinators, defensive coaches to figure out where his piece fits. Because when it fits, it's incredible. When it doesn't fit, it doesn't stick out. And that's with any position, and trying to find, it's the coach's job to find the timing and how to use talent. And my God, does this guy have talent just oozing out of him, right? And it just kind of like body type, size, puts him as this kind of tweener guy. Like, what do we do? How do we get the most out of him? I don't agree that the star nickel Sam is the place for him every down and distance. Maybe first down, maybe second down.
Yeah, he'll move to the edge some, for sure. But
you're also doing a disservice to something that he has proved as a freshman that he can be a lead at, which is spying the quarterback. You can't do that
too,
from nickel
sure.
Sam.
Yeah.
You can't do that from defensive end as much. So it's up to Blake Baker and the defensive staff to figure out how to utilize him with that, because this year you're going to have it. You're going to have it game one. You're going to have it. You have to have Harold Perkins stalking Cade Klubnik.
Let me ask you this real quick.
You got 4 or 5 quarterbacks that he is going to be a key factor.
Yeah,
and he doesn't do. And nickel Sam,
you got Diego Pavia. Like you got Lenore Sellers.
You got Lenore Sellers. Like you can't do that at nickel Sam. So in third down passing situations, he doesn't need to play nickel Sam. Yeah, okay, he's serviceable in coverage. He's good. He's a good athlete.
Yeah.
Nah, he needs to be putting a move on a tackle. He needs to be putting a move on a tight end staying in. Like I get the theory of like it'd be really cool to see him coming off the edge and like being lined up one-on-one with the back. Yeah, that'd be cool because he's going to win that battle.
Yep.
But I think from a play-in, play-out situation, he needs to be attacking the quarterback on passing situations, or in a lot of these games that we're going to need it, spying the quarterback. You can find a lot of serviceable guys that can line up in coverage, but to have his skill set is rare.
No, I agree with you, but here's the question and kind of the devil's advocate I'll throw back at you. Whit Weeks is pretty damn athletic too, and I think he can also be a quarterback spy. So if you were the defensive coordinator, knowing you have two guys that can do it, don't you have to come up with a game plan that's going to feature both of those guys so you don't know, hey, this is going to be the quarterback spy, and you can be really creative. And then it puts a lot of pressure on whatever linebacker is next to Whit Weeks, because then you've got some things that you've got to do. You're going to have more space. And that could be Weeks, it could be Devon Keys. But the fact that you do have two guys that can do it, don't you need to be able to utilize that to your advantage as well?
Yeah, it's certainly a luxury to have, and you have two guys that can do. I mean, we're calling it a spy. Like sometimes it's not like actually declared a spy. It's just a guy is told to, all right, you're the hook player here, you're the curl player here, whatever it is as a linebacker, like inside zone defensive terminology. Like sometimes it's like, all right, let's be faster to react to a quarterback this time. Maybe it's not. Maybe sometimes it is a spy. Like Harold Perkins, like is a legit spy versus Bryce Young. But it is a luxury to have multiple.
And the next
people
year we
that can
just
do that.
did. Nah, that's not a good idea against Jalen Milroe.
It's just like as LSU fans, we're pulling our hair out sometimes when we're watching the defense out there, because you got a quarterback scrambling around for 13 seconds, and then he makes a first down, runs for 12 yards on left side of the field, and you got Harold Perkins covering the curl flat on the right side of the field. Like, what are we doing? He doesn't need to be
curl flat.
He doesn't need to be doing the curl flat on the far side of the field where the quarterback's running around for 12 seconds.
I agree. There's going to be certain game plans. And again, I do think like the star position as far as where he's going to live on first and second down, I like that position for him. But I also agree with you, and it's a great point, that if you're playing one of these quarterbacks and you're going to play multiple guys, Cade Klubnik, we talked about it, over 500 rushing yards. Diego Pavia can change a game, and his is not going to be design quarterback runs. I think it's even more important against a guy like that. I thought Whit Weeks did a really nice job on him a year ago. Ole Miss, Arkansas. Remember how good Whit was last year against Arkansas and Taylor Green. Like, you have multiple guys that can do it, but you have to be better against elite running quarterbacks. And I think you're going to face some. You might not face the athletic ability of a Jalen Milroe on this schedule, because like that was his strongest suit. He's a track guy. We saw how that went. But you're going to face some.
A lot. You're going to face more of them.
Yes, you're going to face in the totality of the schedule. I think there's going to be more of them.
5 good ones.
Yeah. Mateer at Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
he rushed for, I think, 400-plus yards a year ago. If I'm not – hell, actually, I think it was a lot more. I think he was like closer to 700 or something. I mean, this is somebody – again, like John Mateer's going to have design quarterback runs, but also like he's going to have some improv. And he's going to – like same thing with Diego Pavia. So that position, whoever that ends up being, is going to be as important as anybody.
And what you said about interviewing Jimbo Fisher years ago, like they're like, all right, well, he's a great player, great rusher, but let's just run right at him, because like as a younger player, just didn't have the ass for it, right? Like he just skinny, fast. I mean, he's 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
I don't know his measurables right now. But
Mateer had 826 yards.
Okay. With sacks.
15 touchdowns on the ground.
I knew it was a big number. I didn't know it was that 826.
Wazoo.
So, yeah.
So anyway, like Harold's passing the eyeball test. I don't know what his measurables are compared to years before.
Yeah.
But he looks like got a little bit more muscle, got a little bit bigger. Like we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But earlier in his days, yeah, you could just line up if he was playing that defensive end hand in the dirt. Yeah, you could run right at him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that will probably change as he continues to progress in his career.
Again, one of the things, like if you're having this conversation, we're talking about, spying a quarterback, making sure the running quarterback doesn't go off on you. Again, like, yes, Harold Perkins is going to be very important. Whit Weeks is going to be very important because they're going to be assigned to said quarterback. But also you have to remember Devon Keys and Wes Weeks, like whoever that linebacker that gets left on the island, he's used to having a partner next to him. It's kind of like we always talk about, like when you play tackle, you're on an island. When you play guard, you got some bodyguards. So that player, it's a trickle down effect. Like this, you talk about the totality of a defense or an offense or whatever it might be, and I'm excited about Devon Keys. Nobody's talked about him in training camp. I haven't heard this show, any show, talk about Devon Keys. But if you have a 5-minute conversation with Blake Baker, he's going to bring up Devon Keys in the first 2 minutes. I think we all forget how good he was a year ago as a freshman. I mean, he had big play after big play. I mean, you go back and you watch the latter portion of the season, even in a game against Florida in a loss, like he played really well in that game. So, like, that's a player that if you're going to do all these things that we talk about with all these X factors and Weeks and Perkins, Devon Keys, and again, Wes Weeks is going to play as well, they're going to be as important as anybody to make sure that you're able to do all the things we're talking about.
Yeah, I think that the more we just kind of dive into the personnel, the more that what I'm hearing and what we're all saying is this is by far going to be the best defense that we've had in the Brian Kelly era.